Yo, yo, yo. What's up, Sooner Nation? I'm Danny Stutzman, and I'm here with my co-host, back from the dead. He has risen, Jaren, the mechanic, Kanak. I'm also here with Jeremiah Hall, the best financial advisor, and the Weight Room Willie, a.k.a. Big NFL Mr. Hollywood, living out in San Francisco. This is the Quadruplets, and you are watching the podcast, or listening to the podcast on the prairie, episode 5. It is great to be back with you guys.
Solid B.
Solid
J.
Solid.
Thank you.
Nice. I like it.
BJ.
BJK.
Round of applause.
I'll just be the intro guy from now on, honestly. I'll take
There
it.
you go.
All
be
it takes
I'll
is
be
a
the
few
intro guy.
reps.
It's gotten
You gotta
better.
practice.
All you gotta do
I'll
is just
be
keep
keeping
on
on
getting
better.
better. Yeah, it's gonna keep on getting better every time.
Yeah, facts.
Bro,
I'll take
if you come up with something clever, though, whenever you go out in public, I promise you, somebody's going to have you say it. Like, that's what happened to me. Like,
Oh, you were the catchphrase guy?
What was your
yeah,
catchphrase?
bro.
You what?
What did you have to say? Like, honestly,
Do the roar. What's the line?
nah, bro. Like, they'd be like, yo, I love your intro. I think it's so cool. I love the enthusiasm. And I'll be like, yo, yo, yo. And they'd be like, yeah, that's cool. Do the thing. Do the thing.
Yeah, roar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, though, I felt like a puppet. I didn't
He didn't
I
like
didn't want
that.
to do it anymore.
Understandably so.
Happens.
Well, fellas,
Back from the dead,
how's
though.
everybody's weekend been?
Well, actually,
weekend.
Jaren Kanak, his heart stopped, and they had to resuscitate him back
Didn't stop.
in the middle of the
Heart-
game. It was
heart
crazy.
Heart was good the whole time.
If Jaren wants to, let's cut right to it, man. Jaren, what happened on Saturday? You know, I look over after I think they had like a 8 or something yard run. I look over and Jaren just covered with blood, and I'm like, I'll let him explain it. Please, Jaren, run us through what happened.
All right,
was it
so
was it in the third quarter? Early in the third quarter?
yeah, I think it was late in the third quarter. Let's take it all the way back to where it started. So I think this might have been like it kept progressing as the game went on, kind of thing. But I think, you know, I've been having so much contact throughout the game that like my lungs were starting to, I guess, get bruised, so to speak. So basically, what happened was I took a hit, or I gave somebody a hit, or I hit somebody in a weird angle, and I got what's called a pulmonary contusion or something like that. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's basically like a bruise on my lungs that started bleeding. And so basically I got this bruise on my lungs and they started bleeding from the inside of me. And then I started having to like cough it up and was like choking on my own blood. And so I was like, it happened probably like the first play of that drive. And then I played the following 3 plays and it just progressively got worse and worse to the point where I like really couldn't breathe. I was trying to cough it up and breathe. And you know, I look over at Danny so I got the injury, it started happening, and I played 2 plays after that, and I look over at Danny, and he looks over at me, and he must have thought, he told me it was like coming out of my lip, like I
It
busted
looked
my
like
lip.
a busted lip. Like
I had blood splattered all over my face mask and blood dripping down my face, and Danny thought that I like busted my lip or like chipped a tooth or something. I was like, dude, you're fine. Like, come on. Like, what are you doing? Like, because I was like visibly like staggering. Like I was starting to lose, like I was starting to get dizzy because I couldn't breathe. I was choking on my blood, and I was like coughing it up, and he's like, dude, you're fine. Like,
all right. Obviously, in the heat of the moment, I wasn't as polite as Jaren's making it sound. I said some things in the moment, but still, just put that out there.
He basically told me to man up. I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And like I was literally dying. And then so I played the following 2 plays, and I was like, all right, this is like might actually be something serious. And the ref actually came up to me. He's like, bro, are you good? Like, do you need to go down? And then Danny was like, okay, bro, go down. Because like he realized at that point, like it wasn't coming from my mouth, it was coming from inside of me, and I was making some like crazy noises. And so,
and they also just had like a first down, and they were like trying to like go hurry up, and I was like, just go down, like don't
just go down.
Don't just like, because he was like, they're about to snap the ball, and Jaren's like trying to get a line, and I was like, dude, just lay down. Like, there's no point.
Yeah, I mean, so basically at the end of the day, what happened was I received some sort of contact to my lungs, and I got a bruise.
He got rocked
on my lungs.
I
rocked somebody.
He got
You can show the play that happened. Like, I was the one that made the tackle.
He assisted the tackle.
Me and Dolby were in on a tackle, and I kind of just hit the ground in a funny way. And I think it might have been like a cumulative effect throughout the game. I've been running around making plays, not really. But. So honestly, I think it just happened over the course of the game, getting hit so much in the chest or hitting people so much that I got a bruise on my lungs, started bleeding, came up my throat. I started choking on it, and so they decided I needed to go to the hospital and make sure I didn't rupture my lung or something like that. But
the story sounds so much better than what I initially thought, because going back to what Danny said, it was first down, and the crowd started booing as soon as you went down. I'm like, no, Jaren, don't be soft.
No, dude,
don't
I promise I wanted to stay in. Like, I had no idea. Like, I was to the point where like I was low-key like dizzy. I didn't really understand what the circumstance was going on around me. I was like mostly concerned with breathing, and which I couldn't really do. So I was like, all right, screw this. I'm going on the ground.
Jaren, don't be upset. I know how you feel. All these other guys don't know how you feel. I know how you feel because a lot of people don't know. I actually almost died like 2 years ago and told nobody about it.
Don't make this about you.
I'm just saying. I had an abscess in my throat. My throat swelled. My throat swelled, and I could not breathe like you're saying. I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, I can't breathe. So yeah, I know how you feel.
It was definitely scary in the moment, not being able to like breathe and coughing up a lot of blood and getting it all over your face mask. So I was like, all right, maybe this might be something serious. I should probably go down. And,
bro, I'm glad you made it, because I had people texting me that I hadn't even talked to on a regular. They're like, is Jaren okay? I'm like, hey, bro, good to hear from you. I don't know, but I'll find out. How you doing? Yeah, like, hey, like, what's up, bro? I haven't talked to you in a couple months.
Anyway, hey, but the story does get better, Jaren. Tell them what happens at the hospital.
Yeah, the plot thickens. So I get to the hospital, and like, at this point, like, I kind of caught my breath, and I realized, like, okay, like, I don't think this is really as bad as I might have thought. Like, I'm starting to catch my breath. Like, my heart rate's going down a little bit. My oxygen, like, the oxygen getting in my blood was still a little low. So, like, I was still, like, my airways a little blocked with, like, blood and whatnot. But so I get to the hospital, and, like, I wasn't really that nervous, but they really calmed my nerves. They rolled in and they go, just so you know, this is the same place we treated Damar Hamlin. So you're in great hands. I was like, all right, dude. And then, so I basically started, like, cracking jokes, and, like, they were not having it. Like, they're, like, medical professionals for sure, because I could not get a smile out of any of them.
What were some of the jokes you were saying?
So, first of all, they had to make sure, like, I didn't sever any organs. So they were giving me an ultrasound. So, naturally, I had to make, like a pregnancy joke. That didn't fly well. They actually just probably thought it was the dumbest thing ever. They probably heard it 100 times. But, no, they were giving me an ultrasound, make sure I wasn't pregnant.
For our listeners who don't know who Damar Hamlin is, NFL expert B. Willie, would you care to you weren't in the NFL when that happened.
I feel like everyone knows, like, that story.
Yeah, everybody should know. I mean, Damar Hamlin's a safety for the Buffalo Bills. Caught a nasty little... You said, it was Cincy? Yeah, last year, I can't remember what day it was on, but I'm assuming the Sunday, but it might have been a Thursday or Monday or something. But he caught a nasty collision, and actually his heart stopped on the field, and they had to, rush him to the hospital, and they had to resuscitate him on the field, didn't they?
Yeah, bro.
I think so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. He had a better going away. Jaren got booed.
Yeah, that is true.
Damar Hamlin's a legend. Jaren's just Cincinnati's most hated person ever.
I was just a flopper. I was just trying to slow down their intense tempo they had going. Oh, my God.
Did anything else happen while you're at the hospital? I saw the picture that you took right before you got on the plane. I think you're still in your gown.
Yeah, so they gave me this really good looking outfit. It's actually sitting right over there in the corner of my room. They gave me some sick, like, cardboard pants, some grippy socks, and then obviously the gown.
Those are my favorite. Like, the ones you go wear to the trampoline parks.
Yeah,
Some
perfect.
grippy socks.
You can like walk on
That's a
walls
great-
and stuff
that's
like
a
that.
great gift.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Sounds like everybody needs to gift y'all grippy socks, and that you'll be perfectly happy.
Danny, your
Understood.
Instagram post was funny. You said, "Call me Jaren Kanak, the way I die for this."
Bro, I'm getting that picture put on a shirt. I'm working on it right now, and then it's gonna be awesome.
So Danny, how did you come up with
boy.
such a creative Instagram caption like
No,
that?
so me and Jaren work on, like, whenever we have a post, we always, the captions are tough. So we're always asking each other for caption inspiration. But Jaren did come up with that caption. So that's why I don't think I would be able to just post that like without him. You can't just post that. Without,
I understand.
he came up with that one, so I give him credit for that. Which it's a pretty legendary caption. Let's be real here. It's
It is.
Oh, that was funny. Because Jared, I think you came up with yours first. I'm assuming, huh?
No,
It was-
mine was first, and then
It was actually like a sequel. Like I came up with Danny's, and then it's like, or would it be a prequel? I don't remember. Whichever one.
prequel.
So I came up with Danny's, and then naturally it only made sense for mine because of what Danny's was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
love
so-
it.
We're
for
putting
our
on a
listeners-
t-shirt.
For our listeners that don't know, Jaren, his post said, "I die for this," and then Danny, his was like, "Wait, what'd you say?"
Call me Jaren
call me
Kanak, the way I
Jaren
die
Kanak.
for this.
Jaren throwing up blood
Dead
in the
on
middle
the
of
field,
Just laying on the floor.
getting booed.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Football.
Hey, but Jared, I'm glad you're okay. Y'all, it's never a dull podcast with y'all. Y'all never cease to amaze me. Anyways, glad you're okay. Great game. Talk to us about the game. Just one, the environment. It was 40,000, but it sounded a lot like 80,000.
No doubt. That's probably the biggest thing that we noticed is I think it was like that first third down when our offense was out there. It was like that place was just rattling. And when we were there was only 40,000 people in there, like we didn't believe it. Like that got brought up in like meetings today. It's like the way the stadium was built or something like that. It was cracking. It was popping in that place. It was a really cool environment.
I think
they've only lost 3 games in that stadium since like 2016.
It was like 8 years.
2018, a long ass time, and 2 of them came from Miami, Ohio, and then us. So I mean, they've had 2 losses, but they're
I
pretty
love
good
the
team.
random BV stat.
I'm gonna lie.
That's
Yo,
definitely
dude,
a random
we have
BV
so
stat.
many BV
That's
stats.
definitely a BV stat. For people that don't know, which everybody don't know, I don't think they all know this. BV comes up with the wildest stats that you
Like
have
ESPN
never heard
stats.
of.
Like they're
Yeah,
ESPN
like,
stats.
Like he'll just come up with something
I
and hit us with it.
I have one. I have one regarding Iowa State.
And yeah, I was
Let me
about to
hear
bring
it.
it up. Go ahead.
And the last 3 times that Iowa State has came to Norman, Oklahoma, Gaylord Memorial Stadium, the combined score has been 101 to 100 in the past 3 appearances versus Iowa State and Oklahoma. And so obviously that means they're not, in their words, they're not afraid to come to our stadium. They're not going to, back down for nothing. They don't care who we are. I think it's good. I think honestly, like, that's kind of cool. Like those honestly do like help. Like when you have a stat like that the last 3 times, like, it's that close. And it was like the year that we lost to Georgia, they beat us that year.
Yeah.
And then the 2019 year, another really good team. We beat them by 7, 27 to 21. And then it was it was 42 to 41. Sorry.
Yeah, the 19 was 42-41. And
Yeah,
then
we had the 2-point conversion to win the game, and then obviously the last one was 27-21 with BA, and then that's when Perrion had the big hit, and then Jalen Redmond had the thick 6. So yeah,
and J Hall had like 2 touchdowns.
I don't watch offense.
Yeah, just throw that in there.
Yeah. I mean, they always. I mean, you can't never sleep on those like a Kansas State. You can't
The one Iowa State loss I would never get over is the one in 2017 when Baker was there. I was before.
That's why we don't wear all
there.
red anymore.
Is it the all red game?
Yeah.
Dude.
That's why we don't wear red.
Right?
That's
like
crazy.
Hurts
Really
because,
it'd
hey, look,
be such a good jersey combo. It just had to lose.
It is.
Think of
All
it this
red.
way. Because of that one game, we created a whole new uniform combination.
That is true.
Like,
that is true.
I've never heard of that before. I mean, there was the unity
efficient.
thing, and everything, but like
those are sick. Those are
maybe we have a leadership council. Maybe we can get the All Reds back. You know,
that's not happening.
Bad luck, dude. Superstitious.
That's
but like happening. it was really Coach Riley who was superstitious. Like, you know, like.
Okay, wait till this.
You're telling me Coach V's not. The fans. You're trying to tell me Coach V's not superstitious.
Coach V is not superstitious.
You know, is there anything weird that he does like the day of a game?
Oh, he does a lot of weird things actually.
But it's not like
I don't know if he does.
It's not like he has a ritual. Like he just believes if you're prepared, you're like he believes in preparation. Like I don't think he believes in like a, you know, I don't think he's superstitious. I think he likes to be really prepared.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't care.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think y'all have a
think...
better chance getting the Grays than the Red back.
Yeah, we're the Grays. Like the andesite ones. Those
andesite.
Yeah, those are coming back. But Coach V doesn't believe in external factors. Like you know that she said that shouldn't impact a game if you're really prepared. So I mean I don't think he really cares too much about jerseys, which he doesn't, or not. He doesn't care about jersey numbers, none of that stuff. Which is why I don't wear number 11. For people that don't know, like the jersey number 11 was like my thing, and like my whole freshman year, I had it planned out with Nick Bonito. Like I was gonna get 11, and like I was gonna be the second coming of Teddy Lehman, but because that's what I wore in high school and stuff like that. Come on, the fans would have loved that if I wore 11. I was gonna shave my head and all that, but. And then Kobe McKenzie. It's honestly story time. Kobe McKenzie decommitted. His blonde had, then committed to Texas, and
I remember that.
And then obviously we had a whole new staff change, so my 11 shot went out the door. Coach Venables get tired, obviously trying to recruit this Kobe McKenzie back to Oklahoma. He's like, you can have whatever number you want. Kobe's like, I want 11. Like, of course. And obviously as a new player, like as a freshman going to sophomore year, like with a new coach, you're not asking him like, yo, can I change my jersey number? It's kind of like
top of the priority list. Exactly.
It's not. Yeah, you're more so like trying to make a really good first impression. And so,
but you kind of didn't. Didn't you have like a coming to Jesus moment when you first got here?
And I get so like out. Like no, it wasn't anything crazy. Like people are like I was on Twitter like Danny Stetson never watched film, never knew how to take notes. Like dude,
I saw your dad quoted a tweet that went out saying that you're
like he knew. Like bro, I've been watching film since high school. Like. Obviously, and bro, I have my notes with the Grinch in them. I know how to take notes. Like, come on, like, you know how to write stuff on paper. Obviously, maybe not to the level of Coach Venables' standard. Yeah. And like we talked about that, like what it takes and what do you expect. It was more like expectations of me as a player, not so much like, look, Danny, you're probably like one of the worst pieces of garbage ever. Like, he wasn't like that. Like he's like
that one came a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but no, it was I just ran into him. I was going to a nicer bathroom to handle myself and. I ended up having an hour-long conversation on the way to the elevator with Coach Venables, and then after that,
on the way to the elevator,
like like where like the Switzer Center, like where all the trophies are, what I'm talking about, that little hidden spot right there. So he was leaving, he was coming down from the coaches' like offices, ran into me, and was like, "Why didn't you play more during the Oregon game?" And like I had like 7 tackles or something like that. Like I was like, like not a bad little bowl game. And, like, realistically, like, bro, I'm not going to lie. I did not understand Grinch's defense like that. I mean, it's hard for a first-year guy. It's not like – and looking back at the defense, it's pretty, like, simple now that, I have a deeper understanding of defensive concepts. But, like, I'm going to be real. I did not understand defense like that my freshman year, which is fair. I mean, there's freshmen now that are obviously probably facing the same exact problem, so I wasn't really too confident in the system.
Hey, I'm not bro, don't feel bad. I didn't even start playing until my 3rd year. So
yeah, no, I know, and I mean, obviously, looking back at it, like I was trying to get it, obviously, but it was kind of difficult, I just wasn't gonna tell the head coach like, look, I just really didn't understand the system. I wasn't comfortable playing, right. So I mean, it was kind of that. But then, obviously after that talk, it got more serious. Obviously putting a lot more time into my craft, and it's kind of, I guess it's almost starting to pay off, I guess. But
side note, Danny. Don't feel bad because 90% of the people I came across in the draft process, at least on the offensive side of the ball, don't have great concepts of anything football. Their coach just told them, line up here and run this, and that's what they did. So they're not having bad. Coach, I went into it and I thought I was a genius because of I actually knew stuff about like defenses and reading coverages and this and fronts and everything like that. Like people just don't have a good, conception of that. So
no, that's one thing Coach Venables has really prepared us for is like, honestly, realistically, an NFL defense is probably easier than the defenses that we run at Oklahoma because you don't have. It's really week to week in the NFL. Like you're getting so many new players in the system, just because it's a business. That in the Clemson and the Oklahoma's like in their schemes, you have time to develop those guys. Like have a really deep understanding of the defense that they run, which is why they're able to play such good defense. Like it's just kind of how it goes in the game. The difference between college and NFL. And like we were talking to James Galsky, who kind of saw the NFL level, and like you said, a lot of those guys are just kind of there off talent. And then you kind of see like where their work ethic is, especially at like University of Oklahoma with Schmitty and stuff. Like you really are training, really developing those professional like those habits that it takes to carry yourself on to the next level, which is why you see so many other guys like sign these contracts and stuff like that. They just know how to handle. They know how to be a professional before they're ever really a professional, which is something that Oklahoma really prepares you for.
100%.
Piggybacking off what Brayden said, it's important that you're able. Obviously, it's important, but it'll pay dividends when you start having the meetings, like at the Senior Bowl or at the Combine, or whenever you sit down and speak with these coaches, they're just going to want to talk to you about ball. Like, if you think about it, these coaches that are recruiting in the NFL, they've worked their entire lives to get to where they are, and so that means they're looking at your film, they're looking at any language that they can learn to get a jump on the next guy, and so they're going to use that to see how much you know. And so if you're already practicing it, then that'll only make you better for the future.
Yeah. The only thing that's really kind of like I'm not necessarily worried about, but everyone has different terminology of how they say like different variations, different coverages. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
well, just say yours. Like that happens all the time. Like they'll be like,
Tampa 2.
We'll be sitting up there talking to them, and we'll be like, oh yeah, like we do this, or like this is how we describe it. And they're like, oh, we say this for that. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, okay, cool. They're gonna understand what you're saying when you're describing.
Yeah.
So you don't gotta worry about that. As long as you know what you're talking about, and you're just not throwing up some made up stuff out there, because they're gonna know when you're doing that too. Or like if you have it rehearsed, because they're gonna, when they get done with the night. If you have a rehearse, when they get done with the night, they're going to go and they're going to talk to people, and they're going to talk to other scouts, other coaches. And they'll be like, hey, what that Brayden Willis guy talked to you about while he was with y'all? And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, he said his man beater was this. And they're going to be like, oh, that's what he said ours was too. Okay, well, he doesn't really know ball. He just hasn't memorized. So
yeah. No, that's facts.
Hey, let's get a recap of the defense. And then I'll talk about Brady and I'll talk about the offense a little bit, but talking about the defense first. You guys did a lot of slowing down the game, in my opinion. Like there would be big plays, let's just say they hit like 8 or 7 yards, and then you guys stop them for like a few plays. And then maybe they get like 4 yards, but there's like no incredible big plays or anything. You guys stopped the big plays last week, and I thought that y'all did a great job of just maintaining the tempo of your defense. On offense, we talk a lot about staying on schedule. You guys did a great job of keeping them off of schedule and really being on your schedule in a way. What are you guys' overall thoughts, Danny? I'll let you go first. What'd you think of last week as a whole?
Yeah, no, we did a really good job just kind of like keeping our poise. When let's say like first off, dude, the way our defense has become, an 8-yard run seems like the end of the world for us on defense. It's like, bro, like how did they just get 8 yards on us? Like, and it literally feels like we just like let off like a touchdown.
I remember you talking about that a couple weeks ago.
The standard is like insane. Like I'll miss a tackle and they'll get like 3 yards, and I'll be like, bro, like we're terrible. We're terrible.
Worst defense ever. We
are awful. Like it's literally like it's so true. Like just like how much we've improved that aspect. But no, like a lot of teams that are playing us are like they think we steal their signs, or like, they think we steal their plays, where they just huddle and they try to like quickly get into formation and run a ball, like run a play. But like realistically, like we just are good on defense. Yeah. And so, like, we don't have anyone who's over there looking at signals, trying to figure out what they're doing. But, I guess, like, when we give up a second second down, like give up a first down for like 8 yards. But like our ability to, kind of respond, but like you said, obviously offense wants to get in a rhythm, wants to, run their plays. But, when we have a TFL on second down, then it gets them in a 3rd and 5, which is kind of tricky. Obviously, it's kind of tough, but, it is what it is.
Jaren, let me know if I'm wrong, and B will tell me if you see anything or if you saw anything different. But this game, I saw a lot of you guys. I saw a lot of mixing up the fronts. So I saw you two like coming down to the line of scrimmage, backing up. I think I mixed a little bit of bear front in there for you guys to be able to be free on the blitz. I saw a lot of rip switch in there. Well, a little bit of rip switch. Was that part of the scheme this week, Jaren, or do you guys have that in the bag, or is it just part of the package? How does that work for you guys?
I mean, I was kind of that's just Venables' defense, in general. I'd say, we're very multiple. We do a lot of things. We get in a lot of fronts. One thing that we noticed earlier is they really struggled with interior pressures, and that was one thing.
Yeah, they did.
Coach V is multiple in his fronts. He wants to give different looks. Get us in a rhythm, kill their rhythm. Show them different things, and that's one good thing to stop their plays and make them like stop and slow down and say, okay, what are they in here? How can we attack that? Because that's Coach V notices that an offense wants to try to attack our weak spots as well. Just as much as he wants to try to. That's why they huddle on us, because he wants to try and see the formation they're in, and based off down and distance and what their formation is, he wants to get us in the best possible call, best front stunt possible. Offenses try to do the same thing. They want to try and see what we're in, so that they can calculate, what's the best thing to do here. So I think the huddle, it might be part of that. When they break the huddle and we come out and we're in a bear front and then we shift into something else, it's like, oh, this ain't gonna work. And then they get stuffed on the run, and it's 2nd and long. So that's what we try to do with that. And we were successful sometimes, and other times we kind of, gave up some plays that we should have back.
Those are some good points. Talking about the actual play itself, breaking it down. I don't know if we have any B-roll on this, Alex, or if we can find it anywhere. But when we're talking about bear fronts for our listeners, we're talking about pretty much the guard, the center, and all the down linemen are covered. But for the most part, the 2 guards and the centers are always covered. From there, you can get From there, you can get variations of whether it be a linebacker covering up the tackles, walk down safety. But what Jaren and Danny are talking about in terms of getting to the interior pressure, let's just say your front lineman, maybe like your front 4, slant to the left, and then you take a defensive end on the same side, and instead of slanting the same way everybody else is going, he's coming back around, putting pressure on the center. And so from an offensive perspective, it's then our job to bump. Okay, if you're on the field, B Will knows this. We're out there bump, 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 bump. And what makes that hard is you're bumping 3 people over. So it now goes from tight end to end. It goes from tackle to linebacker, whoever was over him, guard to whoever was next, and then centers picking up the person that was 4 people down. And so that's when you start to get into the gamesmanship of it. And I had fun doing stuff like that. I don't know about you, Brayden, but I thought we were always pretty good at it.
Oh, we were really good at it. I think so to get to my point, I'm gonna use this analogy and what kind of Jaren and Danny have been saying about how multiple they are and how much stuff they do. The reason why BV is so good at calling the defense and their defense is operates so well is because they do a lot of things, and like that is difficult. I think we talked about it a couple podcasts ago, but that's difficult on an offense, especially like young guys on offense. Like you're seeing so many things, like you don't know what's coming. Like you can't really guess what's coming. Like they might be showing one coverage, they're going to other. I saw one exotic pressure that y'all did. It was ridiculous. It just saw like everybody was going like this. Like it was crazy. But yeah, like for young guys, it's hard. I mean, we did so much of it. And I think, to be a great defensive player, you got to also know offense. And that's what BV does really well. Like he's a great defensive mind because he actually understands offense. There's a lot of people out there that are they understand defense really well, but they don't understand offense at all. You can't really operate like that if you want to be great. So I think that's what we did a great job of, is understanding what the defense is trying to do, so then you can predict it. So
That's why Coach V is such a good scout team quarterback, because he knows exactly where the weak spots are, and he dials that up and throws dimes and sometimes completes it. So
no, and our offense is. And let me shine some light on our offense. We've only allowed 3 sacks throughout 4 games. And back to like the bumping, I mean, honestly, like we send so much pressure throughout practice. Like if our O-line, I swear, gets beat on a twist or something like that, like it's disappointing, because we've shown them every single possible blitz. And they've gotten
that's exactly
really
what I mean too.
They've gotten really good at passing it off. Like we'll usually like only have sacks though if it's a brand new one we just installed. Because we run so many different ones.
We got to expose them real quick, and then that's a good thing too. It was everybody's exposing each other in practice all the time. When we go good on good, like we find what we need to work on, and our weak spots, and that's another good thing about it. Is like when we first install like a crazy twist, sometimes they pick it up, sometimes they don't, but it just goes back to complimenting each other,
Very learning opportunity, and that's one thing I loved about going against y'all last year was that I'm not gonna say that, because like in the past, like practice was kind of easy to pick up on what they're doing, because that was what their scheme was. It was simple, you know what I'm saying? But like last year gave me great practice on going to what I need to learn for this year, like knowing they might be showing this, but they might be coming down to this different coverage or whatever, because y'all did it a lot. I remember y'all doing it all throughout spring, and so they gave me good practice on being able to see stuff and react to y'all changing stuff really quickly, and it's helped me go to the next level and do it too. So that, like y'all said, iron sharpens iron. They might do something against y'all that's like, oh, that's actually kind of exposed us, like that's a weakness we need to cover up, and vice versa. So it seems like it's going well.
Yo, Brayden, great point on that. Also, I want to transition into the run game a little bit. You talked about it earlier. Danny, 13 tackles on the day, 3.5 tackles for loss and a sack. Bringing up one specific play that happened in the second quarter. It was 3rd and 2. You and the running back one-on-one in the hole. You make the play. It's 4th down. They come off the field. What are you thinking in that moment? Because those are the type of plays that really make the difference. Those are the plays that get you the Instagram post. Those are the plays that get you the national recognition. So what are you thinking in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, we had a full line stunt that's supposed to kind of cut off the ball, but they were in an inside zone, so I took not necessarily a false step. I kind of expected the ball to kind of bounce, but there ended up being like an interior gap open, so I quickly readjusted, and then obviously this is honestly realistically, man, I've had a tackle Tawi Walker all summer and spring and fall camp, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. There's been some times where he's got me, and so dude, that's a bowling ball, man. He's hard to tackle, so it makes plays like that, dude, where it's it sends me back into spring ball where I'm freaking having to dive at that guy, where it's literally the exact same thing, except this dude goes backwards instead of forward, how tall he would do me sometimes. So it's kind of man, it's iron sharpens iron, like you said, man. So I guess it's just good on good work, where you kind of need stuff like that to happen, where the other players, in practice, the way comes out and helps you out in a game, man.
That's funny you talk about Tawi, because I was going to bring him up. Let's talk
what
about
he did to that dude.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Brayden, did you get a chance to see all the offense and what they were doing? What did you think about them on the day?
Yeah, I did watch the game, and because it was my off weekend, so I got to watch the game and everything. I mean, offense, obviously, let's get the elephant out the room, you know what I'm saying, or just the elephant in the room. I don't think they played bad. I think they did what they were supposed to do. Now, did they miss opportunities? Yes, they missed opportunities. There was visible MAs that you could see, or at least I could see, because I've been in that offense and I play football, so you can
they start
see
the game with a botched snap and then a DG fumble.
There's MAs and there's missed opportunities, and just little things that guys can do to get better. But when they really needed to play, they got them. And I mean, you can just build from here. Like I said, there's two missed opportunities away from that being a blow, even a true blowout. You know what I'm saying? Just blowing the game wide open. So like we talked about last year when, you know, things weren't going our way, things are going y'all's way now, right? So that's great. Now, the 2 mistakes a game that caused that to be even remotely even close, that's like once y'all fix them, y'all gonna be blowing people out because the defense is holding it down. Offense just has to be a little bit more efficient in my mind. But
Yeah.
But
I was
not in a
thinking the
bad
same
way. Like,
thing.
I think they still played decent. You know what I'm saying? Just got to capitalize on some stuff.
I was thinking the same thing on the offensive. Go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
All right. I was going to say, really, yeah, going back, we had 2, like, holding penalties that kind of stopped some third down conversions. So that kind of stinks. But, you know, as a defensive guy, like, who plays special teams, I'm on punt. And, hey, when it's 3rd and 19 backed up, and Marcus Major gets a 20-yard run, I'm the happiest player in the world, man. Because, like, it's like, oh, man, punt team up. Because, you know what I mean?
Sit back down.
Yeah, it's like you walk all the way down there. It's like, all right, punt, get ready. It's like, man, it's 3rd and 19. We're probably going to get a backed up punt, you know, run down there, try and cover, and we're back on defense. And then, when he can bust run like that, man, that's huge, man. That really changed, like, the momentum is, like, such a big shift for the team. It's little plays like that people don't understand. Like, 3rd down conversions, like, have such, like, big momentum shifts, especially when it's 3rd and long. And the hard thing on offense.
That place was getting so juiced up, and when he made that, it just
they were probably sucked the life out of the whole stadium. Yeah,
because it was at that point it was such a close game. Like we're about to get a stop back. They were about to get a stop backed up, and then boom, deflated, first down.
And you know what? I do want to touch on this before we move on, because I know we're talking about the offense. I know we're talking about the run game and everything. I want to touch on this for Sooner fans. I've been seeing this on my timeline. You know, I have a little bit more time. Like, I could see this stuff on Saturday. Sooner fans, y'all calm down. We are going to get the young backs in the game. I promise. Okay? It's early in the season, right? Y'all acting like Tawi and Marcus aren't doing a good job. They're doing a great job. Like, this is how it works when you have depth at the position. There was a time where Jay Hall, Stogg, and I all were in the same room, and y'all didn't even know what each of us had because we're all in the same room. It's hard for everybody to get on the field and show what they got. So just calm down. They're going to make them plays. When it's time for them to make plays, y'all going to see them guys do great things in the future. They're young. It's early in the season. Like, just give it some time. I felt the need to say that because I've been seeing that all over my timeline, and I'm like, why is everybody panicking?
Yeah, same thing for Danny, guys. Danny, like, we know he's got a long way to go, but just give him a chance. He's gonna be fine, guys. I promise. I know
trying to figure it out.
He makes some bonehead mistakes out there, but he's on his way, guys. He'll be fine. Just give him a chance.
Yeah,
his time is coming.
At least he's not throwing up blood mid game, bro.
Yeah, first you're catching fingers to the mouth, choking on fingers, now you're choking on blood. Like, what's up with you, man?
I don't know. I just can't catch a break, dude. My time is coming too. Just wait. I mean, I'll go a whole game with no fingers in my mouth and no blood in my mouth. That will be awesome. It'll be the day.
All the stuff in your mouth.
There we go.
Hey,
another thing on the game recap, right? So we've been talking a lot about stopping the run. We've talked a lot about the different blitzes we've shown, the different packages, the fronts. For our listeners, when we're mixing up fronts, when we're bringing McCullough down, when we get the cheating involved in the box, that leaves the back end wide open for a lot of man-on-man, single high, one safety coverage. Okay, we had two interceptions last week on the day. Key Lawrence and Billy Bowman each have a pick, 8 total for the season. All right, what are y'all thinking about your DBs right now?
I mean, we're pumped about them. You know, we're super excited about our back end. You know, when we get it done up front, it makes it easier. Like, just like we're as linebackers, when the D line gets it done up front, it makes our job easier. You know, I'd like to think the same thing for us. When the front seven's going to work and getting stuff done, it makes it easy on the back end. But, you know, that's we got to give credit where it's due. You know what I mean? They bail us out a lot. They're really good. They're in tight coverage all the time, making great competitive plays. So we're really excited about our back end and how committed they are and how hard they work and how determined they are to be the best they can be.
No, I think like Peyton Bowen and Key and those guys get a lot of credit. But I don't think Woody Washington gets enough credit for how good he plays.
He does it. I'm glad you said that.
But realistically, like, when you're a lockdown corner, you usually don't get a lot of credit. Like Stephon Gilmore was really the best corner in the league.
Show up on the stat sheet. They don't want to go your way.
Him. Like
I am 100% glad you said
Woody
that.
does not back down from any receiver, bro. Their best receiver, Woody's going to guard him, and it's going to be a dogfight all game. And realistically, the TV's not even going to show it because Woody's doing such a good job locking that receiver down. And that's just how it is, man. And he doesn't get enough credit for how good he plays, man. He's always there. Like, he's always in someone's face, you know, big PBU he had late in the game. And he's consistent, dude. And he's a really good leader, man. He's good for that room. And so that's some Woody Washington highlight. He needs some shine, man.
Yeah, a little shout out there.
That's how Trey Brown was for us. Didn't show up. Well, he showed up. He had a few interceptions, I will say. But for the most part, you didn't see him on the stat sheet as much. Also, for our listeners, 8 interceptions is tied for second in the country right now. Did y'all know that, Danny, Jaren?
I think Coach Freeman mentioned it a couple times, maybe.
I mean, last year we had similar things. We just dropped a lot of them. You know, it just kind of, I don't know. I guess it's just, you know, last year we're dropping them. This year we're catching them. I don't know. Like, just kind of how it goes, man.
You know who's somebody? I'm proud of Key Lawrence. He just keeps showing up. Yeah. You know, you got the interception last week. You had the peanut punch fumble the week before that.
Yeah. Playmaker.
Yeah, just making plays, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's another person that's really benefited from another year in the system, dude. Like, I think last year he made plays, but I think, you know, especially that safety position, you gotta be able to be trusted. I think now that he has kind of confidence in the system and the scheme, and you know, he's able to play really fast now. He's able to cover a lot of range. I mean, he's super athletic. He hit 22 miles per hour in the game, which is
I was gonna say he covers a lot of ground. He covers a lot of ground. And just from a fan's perspective, like you said, Danny, I'm glad you mentioned it. Woody doesn't get a lot of credit. You know, a lot of the people on that's watching, you know, the TV copy and the commentators are always, you know, spotlighting people. Sometimes that doesn't show up. But I remember telling my family, like, Woody is literally locking down half the field because the ball is not going over there. And I was like I mean, that just goes to show you how good he is. And then obviously y'all safeties are great, man. I really like the obviously we were talking about Key. I mean, you all know Key's gonna make plays. Key's been balling. I really like the freshman. Everybody, we've been talking about him a lot. Peyton Bowen, man, I really like him. Man, I saw some stuff from him this game, bro. Like him coming up to make tackles and like I just saw some good stuff from him, and I liked it. Like he played. I think Jay Hall said it a couple of weeks ago, but he plays so much older than he is, and that's 100%. Kind of impressive for one to be in BV's defense, which we know we have 2 guys telling us how hard it is, and then 2 just to be, you know, transitioning from the high school level to college level, like playing like you're above your years. That's impressive. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, facts. Looking at like honestly, like having Woody, me and Key, we all play like on the kind of the short side of the field, you know, like the weak side, the boundary, which is really the strong side of the field, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like a lot of teams like to run to the boundary.
Everybody likes to attack the boundary.
Everyone likes to attack the boundary. Us 3 in there, man. It ain't happening. That's all I gotta say.
Just quick side note: Levy was doing that a lot last game, and it was kind of like bothering me a little bit. But anyways, I can back that up, Danny. That is true. Continue.
And a lot of teams love to attack that boundary hash. Like just something about it. Like, you know, the overs and 95.
It's so appealing. I just love that boundary.
It's so appealing. And that's why it makes so many tackles. Everyone wants to come there. Hey, but I saw an interview of like their head coach getting like interviewed, and they were like, so 28 had like a pretty decent game, and he's like, who is that?
Who?
And like,
oh wow. And
I just think that's like no disrespect, but like I feel like Coach Venables could name off every single one of their defensive players,
and like who their mom is, and like where they went to school 5 years ago. Like
I'm just like, how do you not know a starter on like just in general? Like even if I had like a bad game, like I feel like when we're in the game, we're preparing for a team. Like you know every single player you're going up against. Like how do you ask when you're like who was he again? Like what did he do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get exactly what you're saying. It's not even about you personally. It's more so about his preparation.
Yeah, right. I mean, like it was kind of just like all right,
like, that's concerning for them. Yeah,
yeah. I feel like Coach Venables could get asked a question like, "Oh, what do you think about their their left defensive end. He will know his name, where he's from, like every stat about him.
Stats last year, what he did in the game. It's like, I don't know. Coach V's just different.
Hey,
but yeah,
well,
if you don't know that there's a difference that Venables makes, we can always just look at Clemson and what they did this past weekend versus Florida State.
Yeah.
So,
honestly, that Florida State team, man, it's like cool to see their success, but like, dude, we were right there, and we really should have won that game.
I say the same thing all the time.
Like, man, I wish we could have, had that back, a few plays here and there, but I think it just shows you how far we've come.
Hey, man, everything happens for a reason, and I'm a big believer in seeing you guys' growth this year. Real quick, before we wrap things on up, let's talk about Iowa State. And we can't leave B. Willie getting a pancake on the NFL live. Okay. B. Willie, my boy, is out here making plays. Enough with the Ninja Turtles. Bro, talk to us about game day, man. Bang, bang, Niner game. Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game. We can go on to that next. But what's up with y'all?
Yeah, man. Came off a short week. Played on Thursday. Playing on Thursday kind of sucks for everybody involved because you don't really get your body back until Wednesday. So guys are hurting, and obviously, like, the preparation is hurt by Thursday night games because it's just so. That's why the Thursday night games are so sloppy. Like, if y'all have ever paid attention, I don't know if y'all watch Thursday night games, but Thursday night games are always sloppy. People that are like supposed to win are losing games that they're not supposed to like lose. Mm-hmm. It's just really bad because most teams don't even have practices those weeks. Like, we played Sunday, then you got to get an off day to do some recovery and get your bodies right. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, those count for 2 days. Like, that's our Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So like, we're not even practicing. We're just going out there walking through, and it's just really hard on guys because you're not being able to see those looks like in motion, like going full speed, and you don't get to every look. So it's kind of weird, but we go out there and we play EG and them boys. It's good to see my guy.
Hey, what did that feel like seeing Eric on the other side?
It's actually pretty funny because, we're sitting there on the field for we're both on special teams, and we're sitting there looking at each other, and like, he's like waving at me, and I like pointed at him like, I can't wait to like bring it out. I would love to hit you, but yeah, no, it's pretty cool. But yeah, we go out there, we handle business. Your boy gets some some late garbage time, which I'm not mad at all. So I got in there on first play. First pancake.
That's not garbage time. You get a check for that play.
No, for sure. I mean, I like to joke about it. People get offended for me when I joke about it. They're like, "Oh,
don't say that." Don't say,
Nah, I'm perfectly fine with it because I can joke around with it because I'm in the NFL. Like, this is the best of the best. Like, I don't mind coming off the bench for George Kittle. Is probably going to be a Hall of Famer, anyways. But yeah, first play, first pancake, man, of my career. So got out there, ran a little outside zone, got the outside edge. He started panicking because he was supposed to be contained. He tries to, get back outside, so I drive him even further. And then when our running back cuts, he tries to change his leverage, and then that's when they're the weakest. So if you have a good inside hand, you just put him on the ground. So that's what he did. He tried to change the leverage, and dumps. So overall, I got about 4 plays, and it was good, man. I tried to get another pancake out there. If anybody saw that, I was trying so hard to get the DN on the ground, but within the frame of the game, obviously, within a whistle. So
I'm excited for this one because it's finally playing a team that I've played before, so I kind of am a little bit more familiar with their offensive scheme. Obviously they do a lot of stuff with their tight ends. Like, they used to have some studs, with the Brock Purdy, Breece Hall, and those 2 tight ends. They do a lot of trade formations. They'll get one look. Yeah, they'll get in one look and then, swap both of them, last second, get the spread wing looks. A lot of swap boots.
Lots of motion, lots of movement, lots of jump, shift, trade, motion, trying to get us out of whack kind of thing.
I mean, honestly, they've run a lot of stuff that we've kind of seen before, with kind of the heavy the formation of the boundaries and then motion out and then leak a swapper.
So I mean, it's kind of stuff that we've kind of seen before, but at the same time, it's good to get those motion adjustments down because that's what they kind of want to get us in. And stuff that's really gonna prepare us for future games.
These are two prepared backers right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Monday. Monday is like install day, and my boys already know their stuff.
Speaking of that, we touched on this like a couple podcasts ago, but so we're like in our install meeting today, and we basically only watched corrections, like a couple corrections from last game, and we didn't actually get to our install clips. But we go out and the first few plays of practice, guess what? New plays that we didn't install in the meetings, and we got sent these installs probably like 10 minutes before team meeting started. And so we didn't go over our installs in meetings, but we went out there, we executed it anyway, and we're pretty proud of it.
It's honestly better. Honestly, in my opinion, it's better that we don't get to the installs because then Coach V knows we didn't get to the installs, so he's a little bit more lenient if we don't know what we're doing when we're out there.
And then on the other hand, if we nail it and do it perfectly, and he knows we didn't go over, he's like, all right.
Yeah. I love that.